What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another video. I am the Hobbyist, and today we're going to be taking apart my Arrma Granite voltage and trying to do the differential modification that I mentioned in the update video of this. As you guys commented, you think that I should try to put oil in the differential. So I've got some really thick 100,000 CST differential fluid that I'm going to try to put in there. But first, I gotta take this thing apart, which is easier said than done, because the differential is sandwiched between the two halves of the chassis. And the way the Arrma Granite voltage is designed, you have to split the entire chassis. So this will be interesting, but I will show you guys some updates along the way and exactly how to do this if you plan on doing this to your Arrma Granite voltage. But without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so as for tools you're going to need, so far what I found out is you're probably going to need a 2mm hex tool, although that might be just because I've got this receiver box. You might not need that. A pick or some sort of thin object to pop the pins for the body mounts, a Phillips head screwdriver. You're also going to need something to take the wheels off, so a 7mm nut driver of some type. And then I also recommend that you grab a marker as well to mark the position of the body mounts and anything else that's adjustable that you're taking apart. So with that, I'm going to start by taking the wheels off, taking the body mounts off, and then we'll see where to go from there. Alright, so one other tool that I found you're probably going to need is needle nose pliers, and that's going to help you get the pins out and things like that. And then something else I've also discovered is that you're going to need to pop one of these steering arms out. And the reason for this is because the servo is going to go either with one half of the chassis or the other. And which way it goes depends on which screw you take off. So I'm probably going to take off the leftmost screw, so I need to pop this off so that it doesn't try to take the other half of the chassis with it. So it's just a case of twisting and it'll pop off just like that. So now I'm going to loosen up the servo as well as get into the receiver box and loosen up the screws that are holding both halves together as well. One other thing, you should probably do this right off the bat, is remove the battery tray. So it should just slide out if you're not having a hard time with it. But you get the idea. You're supposed to, oh, it was hitting the adapter. Slides out just like that. Set that aside. One less thing to get in the way. So I'm going to split a few more things. Screw here, and a screw here. And then we'll see where we're at. Once you've loosened up the halves of your electronics, I would first of all recommend that you make sure that they're all going to go to one side. So for my case, all the electronics are going to go to the right half of the chassis. And the motor is going to go with it as well, but because of the way the electronics are configured, you do have to unplug the motor and ESC temporarily and just have that sitting across. So that's one less thing that's going to try and bind things up. So the next thing is going to be these plates. There's one in the front and one in the back, and there are some screws here that I believe hold the whole thing together. So I'm going to take both halves off and see if I can split it apart. There might be a few more screws, but I'll let you know if there are any. Alright, so I got the two plates off. There are two screws underneath here that you also need to remove that holds the arms. They're like the hinge pin holder right here. So you remove that as well because that's holding the chassis together. So now there are a few other screws I've noticed. There's one here, and one here. So I'm going to take those off and see if the chassis comes apart. So I'm going to do that and then I'll put you guys back on in a second. Okay, so I found two more screws and they're behind the shocks on the left hand side of the truck. So remove those and the chassis should be able to split. Alright, so I was able to get the chassis split apart. I'm going to put this half aside because we don't need to focus on that. We are focusing on the differential. So as you can see right here, the Granite has a 3-gear transmission, which is pretty standard procedure for two-wheel drive RC vehicles. So the differential unit right here comes out. You just have to pull. I've been using a flathead screwdriver to pop the drive cups off because, oh, well, there goes the idler gear. So it might be easy to take out a few of the other gears while you're waiting. But you have to take out the differential cup. I already take off the other side. It's this little plastic thing that just slides on. And that will allow you to get the differential out. So let's see here. There we go. Got the cup off. And there is the differential. So, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this is not technically rated to have oil in it, but I'm going to try and fill it with a really thick oil that will not cause any issues. So, there's only one way to find out. I'm actually going to put one of these cups back on as a stand so it holds still. Alright, so I got the diff out and I filled it with a little bit of oil. I used the 100,000 CST stuff that I said I was going to use. And it is quite a bit stiffer now. Now, I won't know for a while if it leaks or not. Really, time will tell, but I'm just hoping that it kind of solves the problem with this truck spitting out constantly. So I'm going to put this all back together and then I'll put you guys all back on once I've reassembled. Alright, so I got the truck back together, went together pretty easily, and as you can see now when I rotate the back wheels, it is a much stiffer differential than it was before, because before it was quite literally spinning as if there was no differential there. It was very, very smooth. So hopefully this makes a difference, and I will be doing a follow-up video where I will take this out running and we will see how well it performs. But anyway guys, that is going to do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully this works for you guys. I would not recommend doing this just yet until I can give you guys a follow-up on whether or not it leaks or not. But anyway guys, if you did enjoy this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment in the section below for what videos you'd like to see next. But that is all for today everybody, and I'll see you in the next one.